Hello everybody, I don't know if it's working yet. I'm testing my YouTube and I feel I have to explain to myself. Are you working? You are working. Excellent. Right. Not seeing a picture of myself on the screen. There it is. Okay, this is an impromptu live. I particularly want to welcome all of those that have joined ASPW Experience. We've had a wonderful turnout. I also need to explain myself because I was inundated with hate. So much so that I actually had to take the comments part down. It's an astonishing thing that people don't like me. They openly don't like the videos. And that they will get so angry because I'm now making some of the videos that they don't like and don't watch. Not all public. I cannot get my head around it. I don't have the imagination, sufficient imagination for me to be able to turn that into anything that is vaguely logical, apart from these people are desperately unhappy. Marshall Rosenberg said, every judgment is a tragic expression of an unfulfilled wish. That's exactly what it is. And I feel so sorry for you people that you feel sufficient to try and break me down. Is it hurtful? Well, a bit, temporarily, and then I just, just close the comments. And you all go away. Instantly, you all go away. It doesn't change my plans just because you don't like it. So the reason for this impromptu, and I'm busy having my lunch. I'm sitting in Perth. What day is it today? It's Wednesday. It's about 35 outside. It's a hot day, and I'm having my lunch, which is sourdough bread with some salami. Excuse me. I will continue having my lunch while I do this and explain myself. For 10 years, I have been producing videos without major sponsorships. No sponsors means that I can say what I like and be open and honest about products. I am not coerced in any way at all about using products. I get a stipend from one sponsor, and I've got a sticker on the side of my car, and that is Terrain Tamer. I don't even use the shock absorbers, not because I don't think they're good. It's because I was in search of the very, very best. They didn't stop me and said, oh, you have to use our products. They said, we love what you do. We love your honesty. Go forth and make your shows. And I fitted the Terrain Tamer front coils and parabolics because I think they are excellent. And I've got them on 3 troop carriers. Outstanding. The ride, the comfort, the weight, excellent. They work very well. I've got them in my car. Not because I'm sponsored them, because obviously if I didn't like them, I wouldn't be talking to Terrain Tamer. Our Africa build was made possible by them. After spare parts, and I was open and honest about it. But they're a company, as a result of our 2019 build, they opened up their very first branch in South Africa in 2020, after our show. And it's a great deal for me, and it's, I think, a great deal for them because they just say, yeah, mate, just carry on going. We love it, But it's the only one. 10 years, most weeks, 2 videos a week. I'd say 50%, 30%, 2 videos a week. The rest of it, 1 video a week. No sponsorship. And I do this full time. Not doing it full time and doing a video a week would be close to impossible. And so all of those people that now I've had to say, the burnout is a real thing. And I see it coming. I've seen it coming for a couple of years now. And I've decided that one of the burnouts is because I'm chasing popular content to get more views, more viewers. That's the YouTube thing. I said, stuff it. I'm not doing it anymore. Because the alternative is burnout and then stop doing it. And then what am I going to do? Find something else to do. I'm not prepared to take on sponsors who will tell me what to say. I'd not do it. I've never done it. I'm not about to do it now. No. I think that would be even worse. I couldn't make the films that I really wanted to make, or say the things that I really want to say. So I'm not going to do it. My live shows in the future will not be on 4X Overland. It will be only for my closed community. So I had to decide, okay, what am I going to continue doing for the general public, and what am I going to keep private? And I'll explain that to you now. And I think it's a fair is the word, mix. It's fair on you and it's fair on me, so I can continue doing it. Live shows, for example. Live shows are very, very stressful, and I see lots of people. They're commenting, good morning from South Africa. You guys have woken up not very long ago. You just started your day at work. I know that because Paul Marsh sends me a message every morning. Hi, Andrew. Tells him what's going on with the build in Africa. So here's my kind of South African clock. The choice was, balance this out or stop doing it. So I'm going to balance it out. So on ASPWexperience.com, there is a community now, and it's already started. It's 24 hours old, and there are 50 or 60 comments and pictures that guys have sent from their G-Wagons and their Troopies, and there is a Ford F-150, and all over the world. There are a couple of Jeeps from a lot of you guys in the United States. Send me pictures and make a little comment, and it's just so nice. It's just so nice. Patreon should have been able to do that, but you can't even post a picture on Patreon. If you message on a video and you want to make a comment on a video, you can't even. You can't even. I hope the bit rates. It's giving me a warning about my bit rates, but I hope it's okay. I'm going to continue. What was I saying? Yeah, I got distracted by what was on the screen. All these people around the world sharing with me, and on Patreon, they couldn't even share a picture. And so then they had to go into another message board to share the picture, and then other people couldn't see it, only I could see it. This way we've set up a self-contained platform using the same platform that we use with beafilmmaker.com and Overland Workshop. And I own the platform. So, and I spent a lot of money to create it, and it's so far working really well. And so that's the reason for ASPW Experience. So my live shows, and I've got a live show planned. I mentioned it in the video that so many people hate. That I'm going to be trying to get to South Island. This is happening in May in my Land Cruiser. So I'll be doing a live show just for my community. Sorry. Okay? I have to pull people into the community and make it attractive for them so they can get things that they otherwise couldn't get. However, the build of the Land Cruiser, when we convert it to the FTE, which I'm going to do, and my road tests and everything of the FTE, that'll be public. That'll stay public on 4X Overland, the channel. The van build will stay, all of it will stay public, because I know that there's a massive amount of interest. So I'm not cutting you off. I am sharing. Yeah? I'm still not going to get lots and lots of sponsors. So when I do a review and a product review and stuff like that, I'm going to be doing the same way as I normally do it. But live shows, not going to happen. We have quarterly webinars for certain tiers of the ASPW experience, and we'll have and I'm actually a little concerned because I think there are going to be so many of you, but we'll see how it goes. But I want to be able to actually have a screen with lots and lots of people from British Columbia, from Mexico, from Dallas, from Cape Town, from Kasane, yeah? All on the screen at the same time, talking about their builds, and we just discuss builds and what we find really works and what we find don't work. And then, and they can ask me questions, I can ask them questions. I do have questions of experienced overlanders. So that is the ASPW experience. It's made, you know, it's... So anyway, that is what's happening. And yes, Always Overland, a fee-based community. It's called ASPWExperience.com. It is behind a paywall. And I get the money. And what do I do with that money? After I've paid the rent, etc., I go on trips and I film them. And when I'm on those trips, when I do a trip like I'm going to Botswana and Zimbabwe, that'll be one feature. It'll be open to the public on the Experience channel. The episodes, all of the in-depth stuff, the extras. In last year, we did a total of, was it 18 episodes of my trip? That, well, if it's typical, 18, that was a lot. Okay, let's say it's 12 episodes. The public will get the highlights of the 12 episodes in one video. Experience community will get all 12 episodes in their entirety. That's what I've had. That's what I have chosen to do. So those of you who are really angry with me, you need to just get over yourself, because actually I'm going to be cruel now. You need to get a life. Because the way I look at it is that ever since I turned 60, I realized that everything we do has a limited time span, and I have a limit. You do too. You do as well. You have a limited time on this earth. Why, oh why are you wasting your it's not replaceable time trying to make yourself feel better by trying and not succeeding in making others feel worse? How is that productive? What does that bring into your life? I turned off comments because it was bringing me, I was feeling quite down, and we were so excited about the launch, which has gone really, really well. The launch lasts until 17th of February, and because we've got special offers, lovely wallpapers and things, until the 17th of February. And I didn't want to be brought down, because it does have the effect, that kind of criticism and let's face it, it's hate. It does bring one down. But you know, it was gone. One click, gone. So it was easy to get rid of you. My question is, why did you need to be there in the first place? I don't get it. As I said, my mind does not stretch to how pointless trolling other people is. Excuse me, I'm going to have a bite and I'm going to read a few comments. Adam says this evolution will reignite your enthusiasm. Thank you. Yes, it will. Daintley, g'day from Perth. Keeping Land Rover dream alive. He's got a V8 110. If it's about making money, why are you wasting your time on YouTube? Mr. Bullet. Waste my time. Building 4x4s. Travelling to wonderful places in 4x4s. Wasting my time? How many people are successful YouTubers and do it as their only profession? The number is not high. It's the best job in the world. That's why I'm on YouTube. YouTube is the platform. It's just a platform. It's meaningless. But people come into YouTube, find the content. We've got a guy who's joined Experience. He said, I discovered you 2 weeks ago. And that person, is now going to pay me money in order that I can create the content and share with him and his family my experiences, my experiences as overlander, and he can share with me his experiences as an overlander. I'm sorry. It's a ridiculous question, I'm afraid. Why did you get rid of me? Why did you get rid of me? Just joined. Those were the first words. Hello, Kiwi living in Germany. Your content motivated me to start overlanding. I hear that all the time. Thank you, Jurist. Thank you. That's what I do it for. Okay, I love to hear that. Don't worry about pleasing everybody. No, I'm not going to try and please everybody, and that is the big change. Who was that? That was a US also. I'm not going to try and please everybody anymore. I'm now at two minds. I was offered a video to make of a Ineos Grenadier that's been very well equipped, and I'm thinking to myself, should I or shouldn't I? Because I first thought I would do it because it's good for ratings and it's good, and then I thought, but you're not chasing the ratings anymore. So I'm questioning my decision whether I'm going to do it or not. Is it about the Ineos? Is it about chasing content and chasing viewers? I'm not going to chase viewers anymore. I don't actually want to be popular. I want to have a community. I've grown a community over the last 20 years. I don't want. I like if the community grows, great, but I'm not chasing it. This is the thing about YouTube. It's the YouTube monster, I call it, because it's awful. It's an awful thing to chase. Afternoon, Andrew, love the videos. Quadriplegic has got me so passionate about getting out of my 4x4 touring, and ultimate goal is to do the canning. That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. Canning is just it's life-changing. I also intend to do quite a few more solo shows. Finding time is my challenge, but a solo show, and I'll do live shows on the solo show. I've got a Starlink on my thing. I've built a little bracket, goes on top. I just clip it on top and I get it to the right angle. And I know some people are making permanent fittings for the Starlink Mini, but I'm not interested in that. I'm quite happy to just plug it out when I need it, and the rest of the time it's protected. And solo in Western Australia, and I get such a kick out of those solo trips, and I know you guys too. And I thought to myself, I could just run the camera for a couple of hours and just roll it with this camera. You see this camera? This is a new camera that I bought, and follows me around the room. You see, so I can actually, and it's pretty simple. My setup now that I'm doing with this stream is far simpler than my normal setup. This is what I was testing it this morning, and that's why I thought I'll just do a live show and explain what's going on. And it follows me around, sometimes quite annoyingly so, but I think for live it's actually quite a useful thing. Hello Al Azwar from Oman. Genuine question, when were you doing this before YouTube, and what was your motivation? Okay, always overland. So I have a long history. Go into forexoverland.com and look at About Andrew. You'll get some more insight, but very briefly, I was a film editor. Got out of school, became apprentice film editor, and after about 3.5 years, my boss said, my editor, who I was assisting, we were editing on 35mm film, physical film, with moviolas. Don't know what a moviola is? Google it. Upright, they're kind of green things with big wheels on top. Those are our machines. And then we went on to flatbed Steenbecks. So I was editing commercials, and my editor was ill, and boss said, can you do it? We've got a client coming to see it. There. No problem. And I did it. And it went really, really well. So 3 weeks later, boss said, I've got this other little job. Would you like to do it? Yeah, sure. And I worked that job. I was there for almost 5 years. The company was called James Garrett and Partners, and I worked nights, weekends, and never complained, just put my head down. I wanted a career in film, which is a difficult thing to get. And I became film editor. My hobby, I had two hobbies at the time, flying gliders, and I had my Range Rover, and I used to take it on trips. And of course, when I met Gwyn, she loved travel, loved expedition travel. She'd done a little bit with her dad, and we went on trips. We got married and then spent a year in the Okavango, and then we decided, soon after we came back from the Okavango, that I was going to give up commercial film editing. By that time, I'd won a couple of international awards for some of my edits and things like that, but I was very tired of the advertising industry. Started publishing and published a book called The Complete Guide to Four-Wheel Drive in Southern Africa. It was published in 1993, and that went on sale in books, not digital then. There were books, and that was in book form, sold through South African bookstores for non-stop 24 years. It ended in 2017. I now have just released, by the way, a new version of my book. It's free to my ASPW Experience members, a 2025 edition of that book, technical guidebook about four-wheel driving and overlanding. Because of my film background, I decided in about 2005 or 6, I made a television series based on the DVDs that I had produced and were selling. Driving four-wheel drives, overlanding, recovery. And I had a TV series in South Africa, and I actually had a TV show in South Africa for 9 years running. 13 24-minute shows in South Africa. And in 2015, I realized that the amount of effort it was taking me to find sponsors, because when those TV broadcasts were broadcast, I had to pay the broadcaster to broadcast them. It's that absurd. The greed in the South African media film industry is just beyond belief. I had to pay them. I had to produce a film, pay for the production of the film, and pay them to broadcast it. And I had to pay music rights and all those things. And I found myself spending so much time just looking for sponsors. I wasn't a filmmaker. I'd spend 2 months of the year making my television show and the rest looking for sponsors. And I said, forget it. I'm not doing it anymore. The attitude then was similar to what I'm doing now. So I've done that. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to try the YouTube model. I did some courses on YouTube, understanding how it kind of worked, how audiences are grown. And I launched my YouTube channel in 2017, but at the time it was a very different thing to what it is now. And I didn't really realize what it was going to become. Otherwise, I'd have millions of subscribers right now. I just didn't know and had learned it. And so 2015, 10 years, I started posting every single week without a break. And ta-da, that's how it happened. So it's a good question. Sorry for the long answer, but that's a short version of the long answer. You saw my first video, how to use a winch. Yeah, it's good. It was a video about, it was the first time I'd actually used my winch in anger. You know, I was bogged. And I'd made all the mistakes. I had made all the mistakes that any newbie in a four-wheel drive made. I got stuck in sand and I continued trying to get out. And before I knew it, I was on the chassis. No weight on the wheels at all. They were just, even an idle, the wheels would just turn sand. And I did this. And pull out a winch and film. My girlfriend filmed it on Super 8 film, and I put a little bit of music with it and added some sound, and it's a funny thing because I tied it to a post. It was a street post. So I tied it around the bottom and like this. And what happened? The post came straight out of the ground and started dragging it towards the car. Car didn't move. 3.5 hours of digging. If I had known, I would have pulled out 4 max tracks, straight up. Now, in that same situation, I wouldn't have got stuck because I would have let my tyres down. At the time, I didn't know about tyre pressures. I had a book by a guy called Jack Jackson. Nothing in the book about tyre pressures, apart from keep them hard to protect them from stones and rocks in Algeria and Tunisia where he was driving his Land Rovers. Nothing about tyre pressures and soft ground. So I didn't know. I didn't know. So I got stuck in the sand. Anyway, form extract, out of it pop. All right. I see comments were turned off on your last video. My comments are missing, so what's the point of commenting now? Dax, why did you make that comment? Ask yourself why you made that comment. I'm not going to respond to it. There's no point in commenting now, so you know what you can do with yourself. Maybe that's the idea of funny video, all the 4x4 bloopers. Yeah, I don't have bloopers. I have very, very few bloopers. Nice idea, but nah, you know. The trouble is that if you make a mistake, well, even if you don't, let me put it again. Even if you don't make a mistake off-road, the viewership will consider it a mistake. There's no point. I've often toyed with a RooTube Ute to show disabled people can still out touring and do similar things by telling a story. So, Rizzleman, that's not a bad idea, and I'll tell you why. Is because you will have a grand audience. It won't be a big audience, but it'll be a very niche audience of people that are disabled in many different ways and want to do something. And that's a noble cause. You're not going to make any money out of it, okay? Ask anybody who's been in YouTube for any length of time. They will say, if you want to start a YouTube channel and you want to make money out of it, understand the following. You will work 7 days a week for 3 years before you see a cent. It's inescapable. YouTube is not what it used to be. It used to be this bubble that people thought, oh, that's an easy thing to make money out of. It is not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be doing it. I don't make my money out of YouTube. I make money out of supporters. I make hardly anything out of YouTube because I'm not a giant. Giant YouTubers make a fortune out of YouTube. When I say a fortune, 1 million plus views a month, they'll be earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. 1 million plus views a month, several million. They can afford to do more. Me, I'm a small niche producer. I will typically get between 300 and 700,000 views in a month. It doesn't pay the rent. Ad revenue for that, all that, doesn't even pay the rent. So you guys out there think that ad revenue is YouTube is actually do some research, actual research, because you want to find out some facts, not believe what you want to believe. Believing something doesn't make it truthful, doesn't make it accurate. It's just your belief. It takes it no further than that. If you want to find out what people really make out of YouTube, do some research. You will be flabbergasted on how little they make when the channel is small, even medium-sized. It's very, very little. How we do it, we rely on, so YouTube relies on gathering an audience together, creating trust, and selling those people other things. Sometimes it's a shirt, sometimes it's a merch. We do a bit of merch and a few shirts, but it's not, Overland Workshop is an important part of what we do. So I'm selling courses, and I do those courses. And those courses are a lot of work to produce, but they're there, they're available. Overland-workshop.com. Be a filmmaker. I teach filmmaking. And so I teach all this stuff, and this is my, so this is what actually makes the money, not YouTube. YouTube brings the audience. Other things make the money. ASPWexperience.com is now becoming one of those other things. Okay. Andrew, it sounds like you're burnt out, mate. Maybe we might be just to go back to enjoying camping and the outdoors, love the content and love how informative your channel is. So, yeah, okay, fair enough, Andrew. Next time I go on a trip, I won't turn on a camera. So I can just relax. Okay. So when I go, who's going to pay the diesel for my trip and park fees and things? Who's going to pay for the rent? This is my business. It's a business. You sound burnt out. I'm not burnt out. I am on the way to being burnt out because of the relentlessness of the demanding nature of the YouTube platform. Changing it. Smart. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And changing. I'm preventing the burnout. I'm not burnt out. I've seen burnout. I've seen it with my own eyes. This is not burnout. If you think this is burnout, no, this is just a bit tired. You want to see burnout? It's not a pretty sight. All right. Jane, they are fantastic videos of the highest quality, and I'm very unbiased. I'm sure you're very biased. I appreciate it. Smoking Sayed, you love my photography. I'm getting more into that still photography, and more of ASPW experience will be, we've actually got a chat thing about photography and filmmaking and storytelling and things like that, because I love it. It's my first love, really, is storytelling. I love it. I get few more thrills than when I'm sitting, because I'm an editor at heart, is sitting on an edit, finding a really nice piece of music, and kind of, well, I've edited the scene. I say, okay, I need the music, and what's the mood here? And I teach this in my Be a Filmmaking course. I use a thing called the Dig Deep method. What's the mood? Triumphant. Okay, triumphant, but also introspective, because, well, it cost you this, or gee, it was a long drive. Oh, and I'm exhausted. So it's triumphant and exhausted. So you dig deep with the emotion, and then you listen to me, and you make sure you actually write the words down. What is the emotion? Be very, very specific of what the emotion is. It's not just triumphant. It's also glad, but it's also now we need to rest because we've achieved our goal. So we're triumphant, achievement, but now we need to rest because we're exhausted. Okay, now you're getting to an emotion that I can understand. Now go and look for music, and go for music, and then suddenly, yes, because it matches the emotion you've already written down, and you're not guessing anymore. You know what the emotion is, and when you meet the music that matches that emotion, I put it into my timeline. 9 times out of 10, if I do that, it'll work. Sometimes it's a bit too playful, which means I'm seriously triumphant here because it's been a hell of a ride and we're exhausted, but man, was it worth it? If the music is too playful, it makes the whole endeavor feel playful. It wasn't playful. It was fun. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't playful. It was fun because it was a challenge. Do you understand what I'm saying? There you go. There's a quick lesson from beafilmmaker.com. How I choose music. I've got 5 or 6 lectures on different ways of, and also editing music, back editing music, and having. So I like it. I love editing. What else have we got here? Yeah, there's only one person I know of who made some money on YouTube. Everyone thinks they can just monetize their channels and get rich. No, you get very poor. You get very, very poor. Unless you do the other things and create a community that trusts you, YouTube is a good way to make yourself exhausted and poor. Alone, it's not, Yeah, Social Blade is a tool that tells you how much a channel makes. Yeah, that is actually true. It's not terribly accurate. I know Social Blade. It's not terribly accurate. It'll say, I think my channel is probably from $2 to 700, whatever it is. It's such a massive thing. So doesn't really give you an accurate thing because the guess is so wide. Mike, do what you do. Love the way you review your trips. Thank you. Hamish, Netflix is an entirely different entity. You're playing for a myriad of content, not a specific genre or lifestyle. You're absolutely right. Netflix is for everybody. They do games and kids shows and do everybody. and they have billions of dollars coming in and billions of dollars to spend on their content. Niche. YouTube is a good place for niche. It's a good place for niche, and it worked well. That's why YouTube is so great, so well for niche. Where are you going to find overland, good, genuine, real, unscripted overland content? YouTube. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. I've been in broadcast media and I know what broadcasting is about. See, the reason why overlanding, real life overlanding, could never find a place on broadcast television is that they want a script. They want to know underlined 4 times, that when the camera shoot is over, that they've got a show. So imagine going on a trip and having some problems and nothing really happens, and it actually turns out to be, I mean, not all of my trips have been that interesting. I try and make them interesting, but sometimes they're not that interesting. Not interesting. That's not good television. They're not going to pay for that. So anything in this genre, excuse me, I don't mean to burp, I've been talking too much. So much is they won't take risks. So it has to be scripted, and therefore the whole idea of going out on a trip and seeing what's happened in the genuine way that I and many other YouTubers do travel shows, what happens, happens. Well, and I never set things up. Oh, well, it's getting a bit dull, let's set something up. Never, I never have, and I never will. So that's why you'll never see nice overlanding content on something like Netflix or any streaming program. And also, I mean, I know that Friends Cross the Canning is one of the best things I've ever done, and probably the most TV-worthy thing that I've ever done. It was really entertaining, and I had almost like not quite a focus group, but I had a lot of people actually watching the show, and I asked them, I said, please, for heaven's sakes, don't blow sunshine. I need to know this. Is this TV worthy? Unanimously, they said, oh God, yes. It's so good. It's so funny. There was one chap, he said, they knew the shows were coming out on a Tuesday or whenever it was. They would get pizza. They'd get YouTube up. They knew it was coming up. The whole family. And they said they would be rolling around laughing. That's good TV. Do you think I could even crack a broadcaster's door open? Just forget it. Not possible. I gave up. That was the last thing. Because I knew it was so good. It was so worthy of television. Couldn't crack a door open. Again, one of those things. I'm not trying anymore. No thanks. Not interested. Not interested. I'm now going to do what I love doing. And one of the things I love doing is actually communicating with my I used to call them Patreons. Now I call them community. I love doing it. I just like the interaction. I like the idea of communicating and doing my things for a small niche audience, all of whom enjoy my work. All of them. Not people like that other git who commented, should I comment here because the other was taken down? Not you. and it's it's comments like that make me think, yeah, man, I did the right thing here. So, the van built from the fact that you and your mate, the electrician, put an information out to the world is incredible. Look forward to seeing and completing it. You're actually using it on an explanation. So, Jane, yeah, we're building this van. We're sharing everything we do. We're not selling vans. They've done this roof conversion, which I've seen some more pictures of. There's a video going out very, very soon, next 2 days actually. No, about a week's time, on the van. They've done amazing things, amazing things. We don't sell them. I don't earn a cent. Yeah, but we do it because we love it. We want to see these vans driving around and think, we had a part of that. We don't own part of that. We have a part of that because of our work, doing what we love doing. Yeah, Egon is a business, and that we built products for Egon purely because there was this need in the market, and we actually went out. I mean, I went to 2 companies with the idea of the water hub. Not interested. Mate, it's so good. It's so good. You plumb your car. Anybody can do it. Any idiot can plumb their car. A 9-year-old could plumb a trailer. Nah. So, okay, what the hell? We'll do it ourselves. That was why Egon was born. We made the DC hub because of all of these products and everything. And now how do you connect them? Well, you do this, and then you need a bus bar for that, and you must make mega fuses for this and that and that. And we thought, seriously? And we came up with a DC hub. And yeah, we sell DC hub, egon.com.au. We do sell. Those products are, that business has really started to take off. But we're doing the van and everything, and even my troopy. My troopy? What products do I now sell? Do you know how many products are sold as a result of my troopy? How many orders they had for the Superior Engineering shock absorbers? I don't see a cent. Headspace camper. I don't see a cent. I don't ask for a cent. It's not what I'm about. Money is important, but it's not that important. It's not the most important thing for me. A lot of your actual TV work was excellent. Well done, Andrew Sandford and son. I liked how the Range Rover became Strange Rover. Became Strange Lover. Yes, I did. Stupid idiots. Gits. Never forgive. I still give them a hard time about that. Just a git. Range Rovers have dignity. Well, particularly old ones. New ones have no dignity at all. Old ones, dignity. Well, I think so anyway. What you're doing now is perfect. Always Overland, always engaging with you. You have a gift, a few actually videography and storytelling. Don't go. I'm not going, okay, just to be clarified. I'm not going from YouTube. I'm taking a fair amount of my content and I'm making it behind the private wall. As I said, technical stuff, vehicle builds, the van build. I'm doing some more work on the Troopy, got some ideas on some taking it a little bit further. The van is a big story. It's all on 4X Overland. Yes, that is the name of the channel. I'm sorry about the changing of the names of the channel. I did actually get it wrong. But anyway, you know, it's trial and error, but it's fine. And so a lot of you were right in you had a certain level of confusion. Okay, 4X Overland is the main channel. ASPW Experience is the secondary channel, that's travel, and the ASPWExperience.com is my community. Is that clear? Hope so. Given you spend so much time sitting on your trips, Andrew, do you try to incorporate exercise to stay healthy while traveling? Just curious. Well, it's a very good lead. It's a very good. I'm lazy by nature, exercise-wise, so I walk quite a lot to get my exercise around, you know. But the interesting thing is when I'm on a trip, I lose weight immediately. First 3 days, I'm a bit stiff, and after 3 days, I'm jumping in and out of the Troopy with no problems at all. So when driving, you sit a lot, but I find that when I'm camped, I'm in the car and I'm out of the car and I'm cooking and I'm very active. So I don't do any extra, apart from some walking. I don't do a lot of specific extra, jogging or exercise when I'm on a trip. I find the trip itself is really good exercise for me. So I'm not an exercise nut, but I know at my age how important it is. That Egon needs to come to the States. Okay, your 2 volt. So Egon needs to come to the States. It is in the States. Now we're opening a website at the end of February where we have a fulfillment center here in WA, and they will send anywhere in the world. Really good postal rates, very efficient, our own website. So that is happening because we realize that we need to do this. Now the reason why we don't have an agent, we have a few agents. If you look on the egon.com.au, you'll see a few agents. But the reason why we don't do agents is purely because the margins are just not high. We build these products for quality. We don't build them for price. They are very good quality. The DC hub, we cannot find better quality connections. You know, some people have criticized it because using the standard automotive fuses. Yeah, if you use cheap connections, automotive fuses are not a great idea. You use the best possible connection with a high clamp rate, and they are very highly resistant to corrosion. You get a very good connection because cars have used them for decades successfully. So why can't? The trouble is the quality of aftermarket connections for standard automotive fuses are often so bad that they don't hold up. I promise you, these hold up. So that's the kind of our mentality. So they cost a lot to make. We go through all of these, you know, the price is going to be beyond, the price has got to be less than the kit that you would buy and the labor you would spend on having a traditional fitment. It's got to be less than that. As soon as we go through other markets that add their 20% and their another 30%, that doesn't happen anymore. And now the value to you is reduced. So we figured there's no point in retailing this product because people will look at in a shop, they'll look at it and go, I don't know what the hell this is. It's the only thing of its kind in the world. And there are other people who have said, yeah, but what about this? What about? Nothing on earth does what that does. Some come close. None does what that does in an analog fashion. There are similar things digital that are similar and actually more powerful because they're digital, far more expensive. I mean, different ball game, and far more difficult to wire. Far more difficult. You can't do it yourself unless you really know what you're doing. DC hub, you can be a 9-year-old. You will be able to do it because of the instructional videos and everything that we've put with it. And what we try to do is anybody themselves. I wanted to make a video. Should you or should you not do your own electrical installation? And the answer is you should definitely do it yourself because there's now something on the market that makes it so easy. You will do a better job, far better, potentially, if you focus, than any accessory fitment center anywhere using DC hub. Yourself. How much is that going to save you? A lot of dollars. Thousands of dollars. Do it yourself. And it's easy. That's why we made it. We made it idiot-proof and easy. That was a whole thing, was one place, everything joined, everything is connected, and make it easy. And we were developing it. I would say, yeah, or, you know what somebody could do? They could mistake that for the art. And we spent a year doing that, going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, until we came up with something that is, you shouldn't be driving yourself around if you can't wire one of those things. Or you shouldn't be considering wiring your car if you can't understand how to wire up a DC hub, because it's so simple. So that's kind of what we were doing. No. Have you done much content on 80 series? No, I have driven an 80 series, a fair amount. 80 series and 105, best cars, best four-wheel drive Toyota ever made. I love the 80 series, an outstanding car. But I have no content. I did one trip several years ago, 10 years ago, but more. I drove an 80 series. I didn't film it. I wasn't on YouTube at the time. I didn't need to create that monthly, and it wasn't part of a TV show. I was making my TV show. I shot some B-roll. That's all I did, just some B-roll, which I've used, but didn't tell the story about 80 series. Yeah. Would you consider doing overland tours in Australia? Package where a 4x4 vehicle, high recommendation, basic food is covered, and you lead the way. Always overland. I have a very, very clear answer to that, and that is no, because I promise you I would be very bad at it. I don't have the patience. And you remember in a tag-along, I've been on 2 tag-alongs, and I didn't enjoy it. And I vowed then to never do that, because I know me. I know my weakness, and one of my weaknesses, I would yell at people after a very short time. I did that video on convoy rules, and the guy, third from the back, where's the person who's behind you? I don't know. But it was your responsibility to look after him. We made this very clear. Oh, right. Okay. I wouldn't handle that well. I wouldn't. I know me. I've been asked many, 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 many times. And I understand that a lot of you would like to go driving with me on a trip, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. But the closest you're going to get is ASPWexperience.com. That's the closest you're going to get. But I should mention, though, when I do meet and greets, and I'm going to be doing a lot more meet and greets, none of them are going to be announced to the public. They're going to be community only. And the reason for it is, again, value for the community. But I did a meet and greet in Melbourne, and we had probably 40 people there. It was for the public. It was fun. It was chaotic, and it was fun. And then on the same trip, it was when I was doing my crossing of Australia, I had a meet and greet just to Patreons, and we had 8 of us. We went for a meal and a beer, and it was in Adelaide. What a lovely evening. That's what I want. That. Not the public. You understand? I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Dean, hi Andrew, thanks for your great input, contributions, and your contribution to the 4x community. We need you back in RSA. Lol, great program. Well, I'll be visiting in late April, and I will be doing a meet and greet in Cape Town. We will be doing. Sorry, it's going to be for experience only. Sorry, but I do want to do one. I want to get, you know. I got a lot of fans in South Africa. I appreciate you guys very, very much. A lot of you have stuck with me. I think they're. Yeah, I won't go down that road. That's good. It's good. I've got a nice following in South Africa. Okay, go the troopies. Leave the tours to Paul. Yeah, Paul doesn't do tours. Paul does tours, but he does rallies. He does vintage car rallies, different ball game altogether. And I do not envy him. I know what it's about. I interviewed him a while ago, and he's outstanding at fixes unbelievable breakdowns of very strange cars in the middle of nowhere. He's remarkable at that, but he wouldn't do. I don't think he does tag along tours. I'd pay more to be yelled at. Yeah, no, you don't want, no. I'm not going to yell at people. Yeah, I appreciate the sentiment, but no. Anyway, my lunch, by the way, is getting stale. I've got myself a little bottle of Coke, and I've got my pastrami. So I'm going to wrap it up now, but I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from here. I've enjoyed my little. I think we've had over 1,000 views, so I appreciate it. I'll go for a couple more minutes before I wrap it up. I do enjoy these live shows. I do. But next one, May, South Island in the Makadikadi. ASPWexperience.com. All right, I tried to be smoking Sayed. I like the idea of you one consultation only in Perth over a coffee. Well, that's the whole idea, is that I've done quite a few of these consultations where somebody's building a car and they contact me and said, I'd like your insight. And I really believe every single one of them I've done, I've really helped the people. And some of them decided not to build a Troopy after all because their mission, they hadn't clarified their mission, and I'd helped them clarify their mission. And then they realized, yeah, that Troopy's not going to be good. I mean, one was he had some. They had some young kids. And I said, "Well, your kids are, I think they were 10 and 12, something like that. They'll be reasonably happy on the back seat, but when they're 15, 16, they're not going to be happy on the back seat because they don't have their own doors. And so you need to have a separate tent for them anyway, because Troopy, in this configuration of mine, it sleeps two. Where are you going to put the tent for that? Are they going to be in a separate tent on the ground, or how are you going to split?" And again, eventually the couple said, "Yeah, we didn't think of that." I thought, great. I thought, money so well spent. Okay, well, what do we do? Okay, so let's talk about 4 seats, sleeping comfort for 4. Okay, there's a primary things. You put them on a list. Most most flexible, least flexible. Your most flexible or least flexible is 4 people. That's your least flexible. You've got 4 people. You can't. That's not flexible, right? So you need to sleep 4 people. So what's most flexible? Oh, I really like the troopy. Well, it has to be flexible. I know it's great and it looks fantastic, etc. But for your job, how would you like a 79 series? Yeah, they're pretty cool too. So what are we going to do with the 79 series to make sure we have 4 comfortable seats and 4 people? Rooftop tent. And he sleeps 2. 2 rooftop tents. Ooh, you're talking 160 kilograms with roof racks. How about some ground tents? How about some ground tents that are really easy to pitch? Where do you put them? Really easy to get to? Roof rack. That's what the roof rack's for. It's carrying those extra things. 4 people, you want chairs. So you put your chairs up top, light. Your tents up top, reasonably light. Awning, cool, awning. Double roof rack, nice awning. Get some lighting. Then in your canopy, so what are you going to do in your canopy? So in your canopy, you're going to have your kitchen and access. So we're going to build a kitchen and access. So it's really nice kitchen. If the weather gets lousy, you've got 2 ground tents that are actually just big enough to stand up in. The chairs go into the ground tents and you've got yourself some protection from the wind. Get yourself a windbreak and an awning or whatever, and to make it into a little laager around the car, far better than troopy. You can still put the hot water system in. You can still put all of those things that make the build easy, but it's better for 4. They built a 79 series. I never saw the pictures, actually. They didn't follow up and send me pictures of it. I would like to have seen it, and they didn't come back for a second consult. But I gave them the principles, and I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. And so that's part of the ASPW experience, the upper tier of the ASPW experience. I'll help you build your truck. I'll help you build it. I'll be quite specific too, helping build your truck. Purely on a consultancy basis, but I can help, you know. Let's talk about the 2.8. Okay, there is a video coming out. The next video, it's queued up on YouTube right now, talking about the 2.8 and the V8. That's already gone out to my Patreons and my ASPW experience. So you'll be getting that public any day now. What's today? You'll be getting it on Friday. That's coming out on Friday. So that you hate that troopy, the 2.8? No, not at all. Who said I hate it? Hate it? Just because I like the look of the, and I like the look of the V8 more, doesn't mean I hate what I've got. I love my troopy as it is now. What I discuss is what I love about it, what I don't like as much as the V8, in terms of the tent, the pop-up tent, and the living area, which I co-designed. Again, I co-designed it. I don't see a cent when those things are sold. Not 1 cent. But I did co-design it, and as a result of co-designing it, they gave me I think mine was number 3 on the production order. It works the best I've ever had. But not perfect. We want to change the location of the electrical switch box because it's not ideal, and do a few other things. I talk about that. But I like the 2.8. Oh, and did you, Sand Ford, did you not see the video I released fairly recently about my troopy 2.8? Not that I hate it at all. Love it. I love it. Is it the best troopy I've ever built? Watch the video when it comes out on Friday. Jesus, Andrew, why on earth were these people following you in the first place? Yeah, it's a very good question. I have no clue. Hey Andrew, just popping in to say that you're the top fellow who espouses only good advice. Kudos to you, sir. Thank you, Cal D. Appreciate your sentiments. Mate, this is a good content. Love hearing your insights. You've had an amazing life and experiences your chosen hobby lifestyle, and I could listen to you for hours. All the best, your new endeavour. Thank you always, Overland. I have no intention of stopping. I have to remodel what I'm doing to make it better more satisfying for me, while maintaining the income that is required for it to continue to be a full-time occupation. So go and have a look at ASPWexperience.com and see what I'm talking about. All right, and hopefully all of you, every one of you, 1,220, that'd be cool, will join, and it starts at $5 a month. It's less than the price of the cup of coffee. That's what it costs a month. And you get absolutely everything, but you don't get the webinars and you don't get the one-on-one consults. But you get the live shows, you get all the hidden, all the content, behind-the-wall content. You get everything. It's just $5. It's not a lot, and you can pay a whole lot. You get for 10 months, you get 2 months free if you pay yearly, and you get my book free if you pay yearly. I really tried to make it really good value for you guys. You know, I know that some of you and many of you don't have money to spend. You're very careful when you spend your money. I am too. So I understand it. But at the same time, I have to change. And I have to make this. But I want to give you the best possible value. And it doesn't take very many of you for me to do it the way I'm doing it. And share my advice with you and whatever I can help with. So you make choices of colours in all your troopies. The blue is epic. My blue Africa troopy. I keep. You know that thing that I talk about sometimes is when car enthusiasts, overlanders are the same. When we walk away from our campsite, even we've on a drive somewhere and we've popped in for a coffee and we're getting back in the car. Quick break, get back. We've got a full day ahead of us, and we walk and we're looking at our cars. And we pause for an instant and we go, shit, that's nice. That's part of this. My blue one scores mega on that scale. Man, that's a good looking troopy. I'm putting a 1H HD FTE in it, which is costing me a lot of money. And they are, yes, I'm getting part sponsorship by Sneyman, part sponsorship by Terrain Tamer. Yes, I am. It's costing me a lot of money because some things I just have to get from Toyota. I don't have sponsorship with Toyota. It's got to come out of my pocket. So, but that is a beautiful truck. It's now got the Alucab on it, as many of you will know. Right, how are we going here? 12,000 by 5 is Happy Gwyn, Happy Andrew. 120. No, it's 12, but it's 12 by 5, not 1,200 by 5. 12 months, $5 a month. That's all. Not a lot. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's great value. I want to make it great value. I want to. All right. I like how one vendor said I got the same color car. In Botswana. You're right, Syed. He did. Smoking Syed, you're right. He went, and I said, no, it's my trip. Oh, I got the same car. And I'd actually seen it. I'd driven around the back and then found a place to park. And he had a blue, exactly the same blue, Nissan X-Trail. He was a nice chap, that. He was very glad for my business, actually. He was a nice guy. I think he was having a very quiet day. Yeah, it is very, very nice. Will the Australian Tourist Board sponsor you in conjunction with a Toyota to help boost your income? No, I am an ambassador of the Western Australia Parks Association, and all I do for that, I'm not paid, it's an unpaid position. All I do for that is promote sensibleness when in nature, and I promote the idea of being in nature. That's my sum total of my portfolio. And they're a great organization. They raise money for good eco projects. It's, I'm pleased to be part of it, but Australian Tourist Board, nah. You see these big boards, to get into tourist board. Why? What are they? Who's coming to Australia because of you? Well, I don't know. Well, you better find out. How do I find out? Without figures, exact figures, it's kind of a lost cause. Kind of know this stuff. Very, very difficult unless you have figures. You've got figures, different story. If you're guessing, it's not really a non-starter. The new SPW Experience Pizza Overland Adventures. has surprised me far after only a few days. Enjoy your afternoon. So Pete's Oland Adventures is he was Patreon. He's moved over to, and he surprised me. Well, it surprised me too, because I'm just getting these interesting posts and little chats and everything, and I'm now going to, instead of going through looking at YouTube, part of this program, and commenting on the comments on YouTube, I'm not doing that anymore. No, I'm doing that on the ASPW experience. It's like a forum. It's a message board. We have different subjects and everything. People post stuff, ideas, ask questions, and then can interact. That's the whole point of it. So not all up to me, but that's what I'm now going to invest my. And yeah, you've already had a Pete's Overland Adventures. You guys on Experience and Patreon have just watched my comparison between the 2.8 and the V8. You've watched that. I'm going to wrap this up now because I'm getting really, really hungry. My lunch is, Thank you so much for all you people. Some really good comments. Lots and lots of comments. It was an impromptu live I didn't tell anybody about. As I said, I was testing my system for my Africa trip, where I've got that camera and I got that laptop and that cable, and so I want to keep it as simple as possible. And following me around the bush works, and I will, with my Starlink, be able to do some live shows. Thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, bye for now.